Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I want to talk about the Edania Armors while they're still pretty new, and I wanted to go over like what order you should get them in, or at least my opinion. At the end of the day, you should get the one that looks the coolest in my opinion, but ultimately we're going to be comparing stats, and realistically in about 3 weeks from now all the current endgame players are going to have all of them, so it's going to be less relevant. But for all the people who are still at the mid game and your goal is to get Edania Armors eventually, hopefully this video will help you guys pick one in terms of stats as well. So at the end of the day, you can get one a week, and so it takes 4 weeks to get all of them. And I just wanted to make sure, I guess this is a PSA, that they actually do have different stats. I personally chose one based on looks, but then the next one will be based on stats, but ultimately it doesn't really matter unless you are focused on endgame PvP. But anyway, with that said, what we're going to be doing is looking at all of them in terms of the Tet Fallen God equivalent, and I'll tell you what stats you are getting from converting to each of them. And of course, ultimately, if you just choose things based on how they look, cool. At 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now, doesn't even matter. All right, so first of all, in my opinion, I think the order you guys should go for, assuming you are exclusively PvE, is probably going to be the helmet and then the chest piece, because they give DR, and if you're grinding like the end game spots, the extra damage reduction is pretty nice, believe it or not. But if you are doing anything differently, like if you're a PvPer, then you probably are going to be going for the gloves first because it gives the extra accuracy. If you're an evasion player, the extra evasion on the shoes is nice. So it's not really set in stone of what piece you should go for first, but it really just factors in what you're doing. All right, so with that said, let's look at this. Yeah, so let's look at the shoes first, simply because this is the one I chose, and I just think that it looks cool. All right, so let me switch over. All right, second. All right, so comparing it, we're gonna look at the Ator shoes, and we're gonna look at this one and then this one a little bit as well. So it doesn't matter which one you have, we're gonna assume you're at Tet, right? So most people will have the blue one because most people are not evasion players, and if you are, then I guess converting into it is less of a difference. All right, so Tet Fallen God is what you are exchanging. What you're looking at is basically the text under the 101, and so evasion and DR. So 55 plus 57, and then 46 plus 53. The green one, in case you are doing that, is 102, and then 44 plus 26. All right, so going back into this one, what you're looking at is basically the evasion upgrade from here, and then the damage reduction is a small shift. So basically, big evasion if you had the DR upgrade, and even if you didn't, choose evasion upgrade. Next, we're going into the gloves. I believe it is, for the most part, the same. The difference is accuracy plus 50. So just to confirm it, see what we're going to look at. 100 accuracy, and then, 42 plus 118, and then 42 plus 35. We'll refer back to that one. All right, so Dahn gloves. So you know how either choice you make, you have plus 50. So 50 accuracy, believe it or not, is actually a lot. And to give you a comparison, if you were looking at the Jin accuracy, this one is plus 60 accuracy, which is, kind of crazy, for about 40 billion silver. So getting the gloves first is basically like not necessarily a 40 bill upgrade, but it's like maybe 30-ish that you don't have to have one extra crystal in an accuracy one. But admittedly, this is for PvPers out there. If you don't do any PvP at all, probably less relevant. So depends on what you do, whether you get this one or not. But going back into the gloves, most people have the blue one. That's why I'm going to refer to this one. So 38 plus 90, and then 46 plus 31. And going back here, evasion, kind of an upgrade as well. DR stays the same. So all of these, they're kind of scaling the evasion and the DR together to make it like more or less, you know, universal. But then that big gain is the accuracy one. So I think this one is good. Maybe if you are a PvPer, this should probably be your first choice. If you are not a PvPer, maybe like third or fourth, depending on what you're doing. So it's not really like set in stone. All right, so now we have the chest armor and the helmet. Let's look at the chest armor. So 132 plus 52 evasion, 59 plus 47 on the damage reduction. Fallen God. All right. So there's only one option for this one because it is the first that came out the first. And it's 132 plus 52 and then 59 plus 36. So ultimately, what you're looking at right here is the item effect. So plus 360 health or HP, and then 113. So realistically, the change is more on the DR side. So like the damage reduction is a little bit higher on the fallen, or not fallen god, the Edania armor, but you also get like the plus 40 HP, which I think you get the HP on all of them, but the damage reduction stat is a little bit higher over there. So once again, 52 plus 132, and then 59 plus 36. Okay. Yeah, so damage reduction, a little bit higher, get a little bit HP, but ultimately I think you get the HP on all of them, and that scales to all of them. So I think if you are a PvE or exclusive, helmet, chest, and then the other two, depending on what you do. But we'll talk about that. So finally, the last piece we have is the helmet. 40 plus 72, 62 plus 45. Labreska. 40 plus 72, 62 plus 34. And then same thing. I would have liked it if all resistances went up by like maybe like 1 or 2% every time. Like, you know, if you went what is it? I guess every 2 levels on Edania would go like plus 1% or something like that, because that would be really nice, because a lot of the spots, all 3 spots actually in Edania require anti-stun or stun resist, and Orbita requires knockdown resist. So having all resist would actually be nicer, especially if you know, you're exchanging these to grind the higher end areas. So yeah, basically look at the 62 plus 34, and that's what's mostly changing. And then it's slightly plus more here, and then all of that. So recap: PvEers exclusive helmet, chest armor, doesn't really matter which order you get them in, but these are important first, simply because it gives you more damage reduction. And then third and fourth, I would probably, if you are a PvE exclusive, probably get this one, the shoes third, simply because the evasion is significantly higher. And then fourth would be the accuracy, since in PvE, accuracy is a little bit less relevant. And if you are a PvPer, then I would probably go with gloves first, because at 50 accuracy is pretty big. And then once again, it will depend if you are an evasion player or a DR player. If you have to ask, chances are you're a DR player, and you know if you're evasion. Just look at your class passives and everything, and it'll tell you what you have more in. But for most people, I think if you are PvE and PvP, gloves number 1. Probably shoes and helm, or no, not shoes and helm, chest and helm, second, third, and this one fourth. But if you're an evasion player, this would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you're DR, 1, 2, 3, either or, and then 4 last. So yeah, that's what I would do. But also, you know, I also factor in the thing because it looks nice, and I assume that's a lot of people's choices as well. It's like, hey, I got the chest armor because it looks cool. Yeah, I get that. That's cool. And I've seen all, like, no one has all 4 pieces. In fact, everyone should have 1 piece at maximum right now because it's only week 1. But I think if you're going for looks, the chest piece looks really nice. Helmet is pretty cool. Shoes are not bad, actually. It's like not ugly. And then gloves is, you know, just gloves. But anyway, yeah. Hope that clarified things on what order you should get it. It really just depends on what you do in the game. So there's no real right or wrong order. So like, let's say the first week you pick some random one, like let's say you pick the shoes like me, and you're not even in evasion class, it doesn't matter. In 4 weeks from now, this probably isn't even relevant. But for all the mid-tier players and people who are not necessarily at endgame, hopefully this guide helped you and should, you know, help you pick what your goals are in the future. But with that said, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. And if you haven't caught up with my recent videos on Adonia stuff, I have grinded all 3 grind spots we have. I have the first boss done, well, like the weekly boss. You can watch that, learn the mechanics. So I'll leave all of that stuff in the description as well. And if you have any questions with gear help and everything, please drop in the comments, or you can join the Discord. Happy to point you guys in the right direction. We have a gear channel in the Discord. Just post a screenshot and it helps me point you in the right direction. But I'm out for today. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.